Welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam and today we have a 2020 Audi A6. A lot of Audis on the channel recently, which really helps me do a better review because I'm really getting to know the ins and outs of these cars, of the brand, what I like and dislike that Audi does consistently to all of their cars. Now, I'm in beautiful Beverly Hills, California, as you can see, and the last two times that I was here, once in the Aston Martin Vantage, I did get a ticket, a citation for not having a license plate, and another time that I was here with the C63 AMG, I did have a cop tell me that if I don't leave, I would receive another citation. I don't know what it is with the neighborhood, but nice neighborhood, a lot of rules. They ask me to leave all the time. While the cops have not told me to leave yet, we're gonna leave on our own accord. Before we do so, I want to remind you to follow me on Instagram. The handle is the same as the name of the channel. It's Adam Drives LA. And if you follow me there, you'll see a lot of times I come to places like this to shoot the cars. A lot of nice cars in the area. I'll grab a shot of them, post it to my Instagram story. A lot of cool behind the scenes things there. So follow me on Instagram at Adam Drives LA. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Let's hop in before the cops show up. This is one of the cars that as soon as you get in, the interior just makes such an impact. You have to talk about that first. Now, I have talked a lot about this interior, specifically the one with the dual monitors in my Audi A7 Prestige review, which I'll link in the description below. So I won't waste time talking about the same things or repeating things. I will discuss a few things that are either unique to this car or really worth talking about one more time. Let's talk about the dual monitors first. Again, it's so beautiful. When you get in, it's just, you feel like you're in a spaceship, but I can understand that it looks a little bit overwhelming. To simplify it, I'll tell you, the bottom monitor, all it does is pretty much climate control and a couple of other things. Again, still very climate related, the heated steering wheel, things like that. So don't be overwhelmed. It's very simple to understand. You know, you want the temperature up, you raise it here. It's everything is simple. And the touch screen, I'll tell you, on everything in this car, even though everything is touchscreen, they've done it the right way. There's a little vibration every time you touch, so you get some sort of feedback. You know that your click has been recorded. It's extremely responsive. Speaking of responsive, let's go to the top monitor. The infotainment altogether, very responsive in this system. And you would think with so much tech, with digital screens everywhere, including the rear, it would kind of be slow. It may be over time, I'm sure it will, but right now, no, that is not the problem. It is totally responsive, very fast, very smooth to the touch. Everything looks great. Again, the very big problem with having so many digital screens and this piano black is when you turn the screen off, you can see fingerprints everywhere. This car was just washed and now it looks like I've been using it for the last 6 years unwashed. I mean, you have to really take care of this car. You have to keep a microfiber cloth in the car with you at all times. The dash in front of me, the monitor, again, all digital. There's no actual needles moving around. It looks great. You can minimize everything and highlight the map. You have a lot of options to turn things into what you want. You get the information you need all in the center dash. Again, a third massive monitor in this car. Let's talk materials. Now, the more I've driven these Audis, the more I'm really starting to pinpoint what I like, what I dislike. And I can tell you immediately, what I dislike is the plasticky fake aluminum that's around the edge here. It feels cold to the touch initially. You think it's real, it looks good, but you know, you play with it, it feels hollow. It is hollow, it's a piece of plastic. I dislike that. I love the wood. It carries through from the door. You can see from the passenger door all the way across. It is a really nice touch. You feel like you're in something special, something very expensive. Up here, the leather with the stitching, everything looks great. Initially, by looks, everything looks great. Again, there are a couple things I can pinpoint that I dislike. Now, the one thing that the A6 has over the A7 is more headroom, more legroom. It feels like a bigger car. And that's because of that sloping rear that the A7 had, which in the rear, I was telling you, I did not fit well. Headroom is an issue for pretty much anybody sitting back there unless you're very short. This car, Headroom, not an issue. Legroom, not an issue. Let's jump into the back seats. Again, no issue with headroom or legroom. I'm 6'2", about 190 pounds, so you can use that for reference. I have no problems with this car. It really is a tall person's car. While we're back there, the materials, again, very nice. In the center, you'll see there's a digital monitor for all of your climate controls. If you do not get a better kind of upgraded package like this one is, that is just a simple little storage cubby, and it really looks cheap. I think that's a very important feature to get. It really falls in line with the rest of the Audi's kind of high-tech interior. Now, Audi seats are always a hit or miss. This one is a miss. It has the seats just like the Q3 had and the A7, and nothing special, nothing for me to talk about. The S4 I drove had amazing seats. I fell in love. Some of the best, most high quality seats, beautiful design. I mean, I fell in love with that seat. Let's talk exterior styling for a minute. Now, I do have to make a note that this is not a brand new car. This car is owned by somebody, and the car was given to me to borrow for this review. So you'll notice a couple of things on the outside. In the front grille, they've painted it black. In the rear, some of the badging and some of the little accents that would otherwise have been that brushed kind of metal, which I love, have been painted black. I probably would not have done so. This person chose to do so, and it does look very aggressive with the white. But I do have to note, those are not stock elements in the car, so keep that in mind if you're considering getting this car. Now, other than a couple of those things that the owner of the car has painted black, the car is otherwise stock. So let's talk about the exterior design for a minute. This car is not like the A7. The A7 really draws attention, and it's a beautiful car, and that has its own perks. This one is very understated. It's classy. It's for a different kind of buyer. I think it's a little bit more mature than the A7, although the A7, I wouldn't really call it a very young person's car. It is a hot hatch. This one itself, room-wise, interior, it makes a lot more sense than the A7. And even the cargo space, this one has plenty of cargo space. The A7 still had trouble with cargo because of the height. You cannot fit any tall items in the back. So this car seems like the better package. And when I call it understated, don't think that the car does not have Audi's typical sleek, beautiful styling, the headlights, the taillights, the sculpting on the rear. I love the body lines. When I say understated, I mean understated for Audi, not for all cars. Audi is just really kind of in your face with the grille, with the lights, the LEDs everywhere, and even in the interior. Think about it. How in your face is this? There are just digital monitors, bright LEDs screaming at you the whole time you're in the car. So the car, this one, the A6, really did it well. It feels like what I would call a baby A8, and the A8, of course, maybe a car we'll review soon, but that is the ultra luxury top end version with tons of leg room in the back. Very much a car that I would think you'd be driven in rather than driving. This is not that. This is a somewhat affordable. We'll get into pricing, but this seems like the better option over the A7. Let's talk about a couple of things I really hate about this car. One is the fingerprints suck. I know it's a double-edged sword. If you want the beautiful, cool looking interior that looks great in the shade, you have to deal with fingerprints in the sun. I'm sorry, but that's just one of them. I hate it, but I would still get the giant dual monitor because, again, it looks so good in the shade. Two, I hate what Audi does with fake vents. Of course, you have the one up front, but in a car like this, you also have the one in the rear. Look at the exhaust. That is, I mean, you see where the real exhaust is, and you see the fake, phony plastic that's on top, again, with the fake chrome around it. Everything is just plastic. It doesn't match the car. I mean, this is almost a compliment to Audi. I think of your car so highly that really doesn't match this kind of theme that you've got going on the rest of the car, especially in the interior. It's so nice in here. Why ruin it with that in the back? And one more thing I hate about the car, the options. One thing in particular, the rear center console, when you pull it down and you look in, if you wanted cup holders there, that's an option. Think about it. You would think they can have just 2 cavities in there open for cups. No, that's an option, and it's an expensive one. I don't have the exact price in front of me, but you can find out when you go to the dealership. A base model does not have cup holders there. Let's talk about the engine in this car. This one has the 2.0 4-cylinder turbo. It makes roughly around 250 horsepower, about 275 torque, and you get to feel it pretty quickly that this is not a fast car. It's nimble, it's kind of quick in certain RPMs, maybe more so on the highway, but it's not by any means a fast car, and that's something I'm getting to learn about the A6. The A6 is very much more of the comfort and luxury car. You don't drive this car fast. Like I said, the baby A8, you're not going to drive that car super fast either. These are not cars for that. These are cars meant to get you from point A to B in the most beautiful space at that price range. Now, with that said, the 4-cylinder is not the engine that I would recommend on this car. This car deserves the V6 twin turbo with the mild electric that was in the Audi A7 Prestige that I reviewed. That has a 335 horsepower, 369 torque. Plenty of power, you can't complain, especially on the highway. It pulled, I mean, anytime I needed to catch up to traffic getting on the on-ramp, that was a very powerful engine for that type of car, where you're not looking for total all-out performance with the S or RS7, but you just want something with some power. That had a great engine. Get it in this car. Now, even though that V6 is the better engine to get when compared to the Mercedes E-Class and the BMW 540, it will still be the slowest off the line. 0 to 60 is about 4.8 in that car. Still, like I said, plenty of power. It's quick, nimble, but it's not going to be the fastest. Now, it will get the best gas mileage, the V6, because again, that mild electric really helps, and you feel it and hear it everywhere. Now, the A6 comes standard with Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive system. This has the 4-wheel steering as well, which feels wonderful in tight areas. The turning radius is great. Even at high speeds, you know, we're on Sunset Boulevard, as I said, with some windy roads. You feel the 4-wheel steering. That's why I keep using the word nimble. All these Audis with the 4-wheel steering, all-wheel drive, really feel that way. Now, all of the Audis that I've driven, I would use the word engaging. They are very engaging. You feel, you know, you're present in the car. Everything is kind of shaped around you. The cockpit even kind of faces you a little bit. You feel like you're in the zone, and when you take the turns, as I said, that 4-wheel steering, all-wheel drive really makes you feel in control. So you have confidence, but this one, the A6, is a little bit less athletic than I would like. The A7 was very athletic, and I will say that is again because it had the 3.0 with the mild electric. This has the 2.0 turbo. It's very much an underpowered car. It doesn't suit the rest of the car. Definitely go with the 3.0. So I've been driving the A6 around all day, and I know, shocking, no check engine light. We've not been pulled over. The car hasn't had to be towed anywhere. We haven't had to go to a mechanic to clear any codes. Very unlike Audi, so I love that. But we should get to my conclusion if I think that you should get this car or not. With a base MSRP of about $54,000, and this one being the premium package with the S-Line, has a few other goodies like the wheels and everything. You do want those. This one has a price of $61,000. That's the total MSRP of this car. Now, I'll tell you the type of person that I think should get this car. The person who buys this car should not be concerned with having the most this or the top that or the best this in the category against Mercedes and BMW. They should be concerned with being in an environment that matches their personality, and I'll tell you what I mean. This car has such a high-tech experience when you sit in. BMW doesn't feel like this when I get in. Mercedes doesn't feel like this when I get in. They have their own perks. I can sell you on those cars as well, but this car is this way. I'm telling you the type of car this is to see if it matches the type of personality that you are. Do you want to be in something that looks so cutting edge? Like I said, looks like a spaceship. No other car does this, and as much as anybody can get over there and really compare them by number, by every little thing, and tell you that Audi is not the best one at this, not at that, I can tell you this is the ultimate interior. You don't want to spend as much time in the other cars as you do in this car. This one feels nimble. The Quattro, all-wheel drive, 4-wheel steering, not offered by the other guys. This is really a great car. The A6 especially. I don't know if there's a need to go up to the A8 anymore. Maybe that's like ultra luxury, but at that point now I'm starting to sell myself on the S-Class or even maybe the 7 Series over the A8, because at that point they all have wonderful high-tech interiors. But in this class with the A6, you're getting a lot. You really get a lot of car. You very much do get a smaller A8. I do recommend you buy this car. If everything in this video kind of sounds like you, sounds like something, an experience that you want to be in this car, you're sitting in traffic, I mean, I can't imagine a better place to be. And that is going to wrap it up for the A6. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, follow me on Instagram. The handle is AdamDrivesLA. A lot of behind the scenes content there. I do contests, giveaways. Also, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Hit the like button on the video. It really helps me push this video to the top. And I will see you guys in the next car.